Leo arrives like the summer sun, warm, radiant, impossible to ignore. Their energy is generous, their charisma magnetic, and their presence commands attention. Ruled by the sun, Leos instinctively seek the center stage, shining with laughter, grand gestures, and fierce loyalty. They inspire us to live boldly, to express ourselves, and to embrace our inner child. As natural leaders and protectors, their confidence is a steady flame in uncertain times. But every brilliant light casts a shadow. For Leo, the very source of their strength, solar energy, can also fuel pride and a desperate need for attention. The generous heart may become demanding, expecting constant praise. Leo's shadow isn't separate, it's the flip side of their brilliance, emerging when fear eclipses their inner sun. This is an exploration of that shadow. What happens when the noble ruler becomes a tyrant, driven by the fear of being ordinary? We'll see how Leo's greatest strengths can become their deepest challenges. This isn't judgment, it's an invitation to understand. By exploring Leo's shadow, we uncover the universal struggle between our light and our darkness. The journey through Leo's kingdom is a journey through the human heart. To know Leo's shadow is to know our own. Let's step into the lion's world, where the sun shines bright, but the shadows run deep. And in that understanding, find compassion for both the king and the shadow he casts. Confidence is Leo's birthright, fueling their creativity and leadership. A confident Leo moves with grace, certain of their worth, inspiring others to believe in themselves. This is Leo at their best, a light that uplifts everyone. But confidence can tip into arrogance. The shift is subtle. Self-worth becomes a performance of superiority. The arrogant Leo needs to prove their value, turning conversations into monologues and achievements into broadcasts. They stop listening, assuming they know best. This is the shadow at work, twisting self-love into ego. Arrogance is often driven by fear, the fear of being overlooked, of not being special. The confident Leo knows they are unique. The arrogant Leo fears they aren't, so they overcompensate. Life becomes a stage, others mere audience or competition. This defense mechanism builds a fortress of self-importance, but it isolates them. The warmth that once drew people in becomes a demanding heat. Arrogance pushes people away, leaving Leo alone under a cold spotlight. What they truly crave, connection and genuine admiration, slips further from reach. The tragedy is that the performance for love ends in loneliness. The lesson: true confidence connects, but arrogance divides. At Leo's core is a need to be seen and acknowledged. Not vanity, but a vital part of their makeup. When healthy, this exchange is beautiful. Leo shines, others appreciate, and everyone is uplifted. But when validation becomes a hunger, Leo's self-worth turns outward, dependent on applause. They scan for approval, their peace tied to constant praise. Without it, they may become withdrawn or louder, desperate to reclaim the spotlight. Relationships become transactional, affection measured by praise. The tragedy: no amount of external validation can fill the void. The hunger is insatiable because the nourishment Leo truly needs must come from within. Only self-acceptance can quiet the need for endless applause. The real light comes from within, not from the crowd. Pride is Leo's backbone, a sense of dignity and self-respect. Healthy pride fuels loyalty, courage, and integrity. But in shadow, pride hardens into a wall. The shadow Leo refuses to be wrong. To apologize, fearing any flaw, is a fatal crack. Ego becomes entwined with being right, and any challenge feels like a threat. This fortress of pride isolates them, keeping loved ones at a distance. Intimacy requires vulnerability, but prideful Leo can't risk showing imperfection. Over time, relationships suffer. Friends and partners tire of walking on eggshells. Leo may feel misunderstood, not realizing they've built their own prison. The wall meant to protect becomes a barrier to love. True strength is found in humility, not in never being wrong. Only by lowering the wall can Leo let love in. Leo's dramatic flair is legendary, Their expressiveness draws us in. When authentic, their emotional honesty is magnetic. But beneath the drama, insecurity often lurks. When Leo feels unseen, their theatrics become a plea for attention. The roar is sometimes a cry of fear of insignificance, of being forgotten. Grand gestures and crises can be attempts to prove their worth. Even negative attention feels better than none. The drama is a test. Will you still love me at my most difficult? On the outside, Leo projects confidence. Inside, a frightened child asks, "Am I enough?" Admitting this fear would shatter their powerful image. So the performance continues, the roar growing louder to drown out insecurity. The paradox. The king's bravado hides a vulnerable heart. Healing begins when Leo dares to show what's real beneath the act. Leo's heart is generous and loyal. They crave connection and want to be the hero, but the drama they use to demand love often drives people away. Constant need for attention and emotional outbursts exhaust loved ones. Relationships become unbalanced, revolving around Leo's ego. The pattern is tragic. Fearing abandonment, Leo acts in ways that make it more likely. When people leave, Leo sees it as proof of their unlovability, not realizing their own role. They cast themselves as the victim, avoiding self-reflection. It's easier to blame others than to face the truth. Pride and insecurity pushed love away. The cycle repeats, seeking connection, but ensuring loneliness. Only self-awareness can break the pattern. Healing for Leo is a journey inward, away from applause and into the heart. It begins with self-acceptance, learning to source worth from within, not from others. Imperfections become part of their humanity, not failures. The healing Leo learns. Vulnerability is strength, not weakness. Solitude and introspection help untangle identity from ego. They ask, who am I when no one is watching? What brings me joy without an audience? Fulfillment comes from the act itself, not the applause. True strength is authenticity, humility, and the courage to be vulnerable. The healed Leo loves themselves, flaws, and all. They apologize, listen, and connect as equals. The tyrant becomes the benevolent ruler, leading with compassion. The journey transforms the lion's heart. A healed Leo's light is used for a higher purpose, not for validation, but for service. Their leadership inspires and empowers, shifting from "look at me" to "look at what we can do together." They make others feel seen, using charisma to uplift and amplify those around them. Generosity is given freely, not for praise. They become mentors and advocates, helping others succeed. Their confidence anchors the group, providing warmth and courage. People are drawn to their nurturing light. Leo's vision serves the collective, not just their own glory. Their roar becomes a call to action, inspiring authenticity in all. This is the true and lasting power of the lion. Leo's journey through shadow reveals that our strengths and weaknesses are two sides of the same coin. The sun that gives warmth can also cast a long shadow. To understand Leo is to see both the ruler and the frightened child. The lesson is universal. Love yourself enough that you don't need the world to prove your worth. The path isn't to dim your light, but to integrate your shadow and choose a conscious way of being. True power is found in the steady beat of a self-assured heart, not in applause. The most magnificent Leos have faced their need for validation and found it within. They lead with compassion, shine for others, and embody the true strength of their sign. We all have a sun and a shadow. The goal is not perfection, but wholeness. The lion's true strength is a courageous, open, ever-beating heart.